Hi, Esther and I are here today having a chat about hair removal, laser hair removal, being done by a salon, so professionally, and we're talking about it now because being the beginning of the year, we know that you have to go through a number of cycles to actually become hair free. So Esther, tell me a little bit about what is laser hair removal when it's from a salon?
Well, different salons or clinics will actually have different pieces of equipment. We use a piece of equipment which is pain-free. So we do what we call pain-free.
We like pain-free.
We like pain-free. Pain-free laser hair removal. And that is basically because we use an in-motion laser. Now, the difference is with the old traditional lasers, it was a pulse method. So they go boing, 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 and it bloody hurt. It did. And you can imagine it when you sort of get down to bikini lines, it really hurt.
Really painful.
Painful. Today, the new lasers that we're using are constant. So basically, they come onto the skin and they're constantly being moved up and down. So with laser light, what you're looking at is joules. It's the amount of energy that you're putting into the skin, into the hair follicle. So these lasers are constantly in motion and building up the amount of joules that are going into the skin, into the hair, and that is what's killing off the hair follicle.
Fantastic. How long does that take? How long do you have to allow for to actually become hair free?
Well, hair goes through 3 cycles. So you're looking at dormant, or growth cycle, dormant, and actually falling out, to make it really simple. And you can only actually capture the hair when it's in growth cycle to actually kill the hair follicle off. So not all the hairs on your body, and you've got billions, will be reacting at the same time. So some might be in growth, while some might be in dormant or falling out stages. So you have to do this about every 6 to 8 weeks. And each time you do it, you should be removing maybe 10%, 15% of the hairs that you're working on. So you can imagine that over a period of 6 to 8 months, or 6 to 12 months, you will actually should get a really intense removal of hair.
That's really good. Any precautions that we should take before we actually undertake having laser hair removal?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. When you're doing the hair removal, first of all, please go to somebody that's highly qualified. And when I say that, there are a lot of different types of laser machines out there. Laser can burn. It's not handled by the correct person. Somebody that's been very well trained. You can have a problem with it like you can any other piece of
So you want to
machinery.
go to an established clinic. I mean, I've seen some of these sort of pop-up shops appearing, offering laser treatments. So
or very
avoid
cheap,
those.
or cheap laser treatments. And even somebody that's got the same piece of kit, if it's handled by one person, handled by another person, you get 2 totally different results. So it isn't always a question of I can get the same hair removal done for 50% less. Yeah, you most likely can, but be careful.
Okay. And any other precautions? Sun protection, anything like that we have to think about?
Yes, absolutely. Anytime any type of laser is being used on you or on the body anywhere, you must use a sunscreen, number one.
We've got to be using the sunscreen anyway. We keep saying this every day, SPF.
SPF, but people will think about it for the face and not on the arms,
body.
Not on the body. So think about that, please. And also, when you're looking at this and you're having hair removal done, you can't have it done maybe for 2 or 3 weeks after you've been in the sun, and please don't have it done right before going into the sun. Allow 2 or 3 weeks for the skin to acclimatise.
Okay.
That's really
really
important.
good advice.
If you're a gym bunny, allow 24 hours. So if you're going to have it done, go to the gym and then don't go for at least 24 hours to allow the skin again to cool down and acclimatise. Don't go into things like chlorine. So if you're a swimmer, don't jump in the pool just after you've had it done. It'll hurt and not good.
Saunas and steam rooms and things like that worth avoiding, aren't they?
Yeah. So you have to think about all that. When you're looking at things like bikinis, bikini line, now some ladies today are having everything off, which is fine while you're a young lady.
I was just going to say, how are you going to feel when you get to be an elderly lady?
And I often say this to younger ladies. Obviously within the Muslim faith, they will have everything removed as part of their culture. fine. But as one grows older, a little hair is actually something quite nice to have, I think, you know. Not maybe everywhere, but at least
it's worth thinking about, because I think we, you know, when we're younger, you do things and you're not thinking about later on. You're thinking about that moment.
Yeah. And you. So I've seen a few ladies that have said to me when they're sort of getting up to their late 50s, 60s, you know, oh, I wish I'd have left a bit on. Yeah. It's not quite as good as it used to be. It doesn't look as pretty, you know.
Yeah, it's probably don't need any more details. I think we all got the picture. But yeah, so that's really interesting. So
I'm just going to add one more thing here.
Go on.
Very interesting. For the gentlemen that are out there that are watching this, today I have in clinic a device which goes onto the end of the laser for nostrils and ears.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, you know, and
that's actually really
ladies,
good.
if you've got a husband that's growing a lot of hairs out of his nostrils and out of his ears and you can't stand it, bring him in.
Great Christmas present, great birthday present. Yeah. No, but actually, we forget that how many of these treatments men are actually booking now, because hairy backs and things like that. I know a lot of waxing and things are being done. So
the problem with waxing is that people get ingrown hairs, and so for men, if any of you guys are listening out there, we do a lot of hair removal on necks, because people get a lot of folliculitis, where often men that are wearing shirts and collars, ties, they rub and they get here very sensitive. So we actually do hair removal over here, and it really helps them, so no more ingrown hairs.
That's really good.
That's good to know. We do a lot of work on men, actually, backs, particularly young guys that are working out a lot, you know, or women that complain about their husbands feel like a bit like a bear and they want the hair off. So we're here, you know. It all comes off, and it can come off in more or less everywhere.
And pain-free.
And pain-free.
So that's just what we want. Yeah. Any questions that you've got about laser hair removal, please send them through. Ask Esther, because she will be very happy to answer.
Absolutely.
You can either leave your questions at the bottom of the video, you can email them to info@fighting50.co.uk, or any of the social media channels. Just drop us a line and we will get back to you. Esther, thank you. As always, it's always really entertaining to talk with you and find out about these treatments. And I quite like the sound of pain-free laser. That sounds really good. Yeah,
the other thing, just before we go, anywhere that's worth their weight in gold should be testing you. They'll patch test you before you have this treatment done. So don't go in on the day that you want to have it done and say, I want it done now, because anywhere worth their salt are going to say to you, we need to do a patch test 24 hours prior to you having this treatment. Bear that in mind.
Good advice. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back soon.
Bye.
Bye.